As I said in the last video, we'll discuss today ISO part 2, where mainly I will concentrate on ISO 14000 and we'll see the basic comparison between ISO 14000 and ISO 9000. ISO 14000. ISO, as I know that the term means International Organization for Standardization. And when we talk about ISO 14000, as already we have seen, ISO 14000 generally deals with environmental management system. ISO 14000 generally is a series of environmental management standards developed and published by the International Organization for Standardization, mainly for the organizations. The ISO 14000 standards provides a guideline or framework for organizations that need to systematize and improve their environmental management efforts. So when we look into ISO 14000, mainly it is responsible for the environmental management system. This 14000 will provide the guideline that an organization must have to follow to systematize and improve their environmental management efforts. Role of ISO 14000. First one, reduces environmental liability. Next, enhances public image and reputation. Next, assures customers, satisfies investor criteria, reduces your consumption of materials and energy, facilitates permits and authorizations. Facilitates permits and authorizations. So these are the role of ISO 14000. First is reduces environmental liability, enhances public image and reputation, assures customer, satisfies investor criteria, reduces consumption of materials and energy, facilitates permits and authorizations. Reduces cost, improve industry government relationship. So the ISO 14000 standards can be applied where we can utilize this ISO 14000 principle. Mainly we can apply it to large and small business and industry, service sector like hospitals, hotels, etc., government organizations, all types of organizations of all sizes anywhere in the world. As we know that ISO is an international standard. Then ISO 14000 policy. What is the policy? What is the main aim of ISO 14000? As we know that its headline is environmental management. So how it can execute that policy? So they have made some policy. First one, prevention of pollution. Next, continual environmental improvement. Next, commitment to comply with environmental laws and regulations. Next, establish framework for setting and reviewing objectives and targets, documented, implemented, maintained and communicated to the employees, then available to the public. Then objectives, reduce waste generation by recycling, reduce energy consumption by use of alternative lighting, reduce energy consumption by reduction of compressed air leaks, improved chemical management system software, then management of industrial wastewater, improved hazard waste management through solvent recovery. So main target, if you look into, they're mainly targeting environmental management by reducing waste generation, by reducing energy consumption, by reducing minimizing the air leaks and so on. ISO 14000 overview. We just see what is ISO 14000 series is based on. The ISO 14000 series are based on, that is we call it as BS 7750, that is nothing but British standard, which was instituted in 1992. The standard also served as the basis for the European Union's Eco-Management and Audit Scheme, that we call it as an EMAS. It is a series of 21 related auditable international standards and supplementary guidelines. That is, ISO 14000 again divided into two separate areas. First one is organization and evaluation standard and the second one is product evaluation standard. When we talk about overview, that means This 14,000 is generally based on British standard, and it is served as the basis for EMAS, that is European Union's Eco-Management and Audit Scheme. So ISO 14,000 is divided into two separate areas. One is organization and evaluation standard, another is product evaluation standard. Now we'll look these two criteria in details. Environmental management system, that is ISO 14,000, as we have seen that it is divided into two parts, that is organizational evaluation and product evaluation. Under organizational evaluation, we have another three important criteria, that is environmental management system, environmental auditing, and the last one, environmental performance evaluation. And when we look into product evaluation, that is life cycle assessment, environmental leveling, environmental aspects in product standards. So we'll see into one by one into details. First one, we'll start with organizational evaluation standard. The organization oriented standards provide comprehensive guidance for establishing, maintaining, and evaluating an environmental management system, which we are calling it as an EMS. Generally, as we have seen that environmental management system, that is organizational evaluation, is divided into three more important again criteria. It generally covers environmental management system, environmental auditing, and environmental performance evaluation. First we will start with EMS, that is environmental management system. First, under that, it is a systematic way of managing an organization's environmental affairs. Second point, addresses immediate and long-term impact of an organization's products, services, and processes of the environment. Second one, environmental auditing. This section describes the general principle of environmental auditing, procedures for conducting environmental audits, and auditor qualification. As we know that if you want to set up an industry, environmental monitoring is very essential. Second point, that is environmental auditing. That means auditing should be done frequently. For that, it will describe, this ISO 14,000 will describe the general principle for auditing and how to perform the auditing and what are the auditor qualification. Next, environmental performance level. Company must develop measures and goal to assess environmental performance, such as the percentage reduction in air emission, hazard waste generated, the reduction in energy waste and other natural resources consumption, and reduction in the fines and penalties. That means they need to plan it properly, that they should keep some range based on some of the standard. They should look into, suppose first audit, that may be 90%. In the second audit, what are the measures? Before second audit, they will take some precautions to reduce that. On the second audit, they should find that how much reduction is happening. So that is called as environmental performance level. Next, we have finished our organizational evaluation standard. Under that, we have seen environmental management system, environmental auditing, and the last one, environmental performance evaluation. Next, we will start up with product oriented standards. Product oriented standards, again, it will cover three important criteria, that is environmental leveling, life cycle assessment, environmental aspects in product standards. So what is product oriented standards? These are concerned with determining the environmental impact of product and services over their life cycles and with environmental levels and declarations. Mainly, what is the impact of product? They are analyzing. First one, environmental aspect in product standard. Its purpose is to incorporate environmental training into the development of the product standard to prevent adverse effect on the environment. Whatever the product they are generating, it should not produce any adverse effect on the environment. That is the first one. Next, environmental leveling. Companies using environmental product advertising or making environmental claims for the product would have to do as per ISO standards. That means environmental leveling, whatever they are going to level, that should be as per ISO standards. Next, life cycle assessment. The principal and guidelines used to determine the impact of a product on the environment from the design state through the disposal. Suppose if we talk about any pharmaceutical product, they will have some expiry date. After expiry date, how we need to dispose this product? That is called as the life cycle assessment. For that also there should be a proper design. ISO 14000 series. So as we have seen in 9000 also we have some series. Here ISO 14000 have series. But here the best part is that their series is divided into two important parts, that is organization evaluation standard, another is product oriented standard. When you talk about organizational evaluation standard, again we have three parts, that is environmental management system, environmental auditing, and the last one environmental performance evaluation. If we look at environmental management system, we have two standards, that is 14001 and 14004. 14001 deals with specification, 14004 deals with general guidelines. When we come into environmental auditing, that is if we talk about 14010, where we generally deals with general principle, 11 we deals with audit procedures, 12 we deal with auditor criteria. As we have seen that in environmental auditing generally deals with principle, procedure and qualification of auditor. The last one, environmental performance evaluation, that is 14031, generally deals with the guidelines. Next, product oriented standards. Under that, environmental aspects in product standard guide, that is followed 64 EAPS guideline. Already we have seen what is EAPS. Next, environmental leveling 14020 generally deals with basic principle, 021 self declaration, 022 symbols, 023 testing and verification, 024 third party. Next we come to the life cycle assessment, that is life cycle assessment 14040 principle and framework, that is 14041 generic goals and definition, 042 impact assessment, 043 improvement assessment. So if you come into that, if you look into that organizational evaluation standards, again they have three parts. There are three, they have different ISO series. And when we come into product oriented standards, again divided into three parts, they have different ISO standard ISO series. So suppose if we talk about 14043, generally it deals with improvement assessment. Now benefits of ISO 14000. What are the benefits ISO 14000 can give? It helps organizations meet and maintain regulatory and legislative requirements. Next, minimizes the environmental impact of products, activities and resources, promotes environmental awareness, better conformance with environmental regulations, greater marketability, better use of resources, higher quality goods and services, increased level of safety, improve image and increased profit. Finally, 14000 generally deals with environmental management system. Finally, it mainly concentrates on the environment. That means organization as well as the product what they are manufacturing, it should not affect the environment. So if we maintain ISO 14000, these what are the benefits we can expect. Drawbacks. So along with advantages, we have some drawbacks also. It only focuses on management processes behind the product. Most organizations get ISO 14001 certification without changing their organizational culture. Next, focus on certification rather than improving environmental performance. That is one of the most important thing that is happening. They want the certificate but they will not follow the guidelines. Most employees not involved in the management process. Next, also it can encourage companies to meet a certain set level without incentive to go for the maximum improvement. Next, there is no guarantee the certification will result in increased profits for a company. Next, the implementation of standard removes the creative element of program. Next, reduces the productivity by forcing unnecessary action, amount of money spent on paperwork for registration and time required for the process. So these are the some of the drawbacks. But finally, whatever the drawbacks, generally for the environmental purpose, better to go for the ISO 14000. Now we'll look at the difference between ISO 9000 and ISO 14000. So as we have already discussed ISO 9000 last class, so today we are going to see why we have seen that ISO 14000. Just we'll see the difference, as we have seen that ISO 9000 and ISO 14000. So first, in the left hand side 9000, right hand side 14000. First point under 9000 encourages organization to institute quality assurance management program, as we have seen that 9000 mainly concentrated on QMS. Next, if we look at 14,000, it is generally environmental effect of an organization, that is environmental management system. Next, if we look at 9,000, the major system requirements are defined by customers. Next, if we look at 14,000, customers as well as many additional stakeholders. Stakeholders are nothing but who all are associated with the companies. Next, if we look at 9,000, includes evaluation of suppliers and review of customer contracts. If we look at 14,000, includes method of evaluating environmental impacts and system. Whereas if we look at 9,000, it is mainly customer focused. Whereas if we look at 14,000, it is environmental focused. Last point, the goals of quality system are generally quite clear. The situation for environmental system is not straightforward, as we have seen that some of the drawbacks. So finally, if we look at the basic difference between 9,000 and 14,000, 9,000 mainly deals with the QMS, and if we look at 14,000, it generally deals with the environmental management system. Whereas 9,000 is mainly customer focused, but generally 14,000 is customer as well as other stakeholders. Whereas if we look at 9,000, there is some proper goal is mentioned, but in case of environmental, in 14,000, no such goal is established. So this is the end of this particular video. Hope you will like it. I will give the link down. You can download the PPT also if you want, or you can go for the snapshot. Thank you.